Hey guys, it's Obsolete here, back with another video. Today we are doing a mod review of the well-known Thorium mod, and if you should play the mod or not. This mod is definitely what I would call one of the top 3 most well-known content mods out there, and I feel like that's for good reason. Before we get straight into it, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, and also join the Discord if you want to talk to me and get updates on future videos. Link is in the description. Let's go ahead and get into what the Thorium mod is all about. So what is the Thorium mod? The Thorium mod currently adds 2,300 new items, 55 new armor sets, 180 new enemies and banners, 250 new tiles, blocks, and furniture, 10 new town NPCs, 11 new bosses, a new underwater biome, 2 new classes which are the Bard class and the Healer class, while also making the Thrower class a bit better. The best way I can describe Thorium would have to be a mod that takes vanilla and builds upon that vanilla structure rather than changing it. The entire mod blends so well with the vanilla content that you won't have to worry about overpowering vanilla bosses with the new modded gear it adds, which is something that I personally think is a hard task to do just right when you have added so many items and other content like Thorium has. Starting out with the pros of the mod, I think the mod has some really interesting mechanics. One of my favorite things that really stood out to me within this mod was being able to essentially parry one of the charges of the first new boss with a well-timed melee attack, and if done correctly, the boss will be stunned for a few seconds, which is something I personally haven't seen within any other Terraria content mod. It's these little details in my opinion that go such a long way, and all those little details add up to the bigger picture, which I think Thorium does very well. Speaking of the bosses of the mod, some of the attacks they have are super unique. One of my favorite examples of this is the boss summoning lava waves that increase in height as the boss gets lower on HP, and watching and dodging this lava wave is really fun. The boss's sprites are also very well done and detailed, and they aren't too over the top or anything. They feel like they honestly could belong in vanilla Terraria. Thorium has definitely managed to master this feeling of adding new content to the game without it feeling too different to the base game, which I think people who are new to the modding community or prefer a more vanilla type of playthrough will enjoy and can respect the effort put into the mod in that aspect. Moving on to the weapons here, all the weapons are really fun to use and have some really cool ideas within them. One example of this is the Festering Balloon, which is a throwing weapon. When you left click with this weapon, you throw out a balloon that drifts upwards and lingers in the air, but if you right click, it throws a dart which will deal very little damage, but the purpose is to pop the balloons you have released, which will cause the balloons to release damaging projectiles. That whole concept to me is super unique, and that isn't even a super late game weapon, and the weapons just get better and more crazy throughout your progression. There's even weapons that deal true damage, meaning they aren't impacted by enemies' defense, which is great if you are trying to defeat something that has a very high defense stat. Lastly of the pros here, the mod evenly spreads out its content quite well. You don't have to go a very long time before running into new content, and you are recommended to fight the first boss before even King Slime, and then not long after that you'll fight another modded boss a few bosses later. It also won't take you very long before you get to explore the new biome, as well as some of the new structures the mod adds, so it has good pacing between the new modded content versus the vanilla content. Moving on to the cons here, the mod isn't very difficult. Because the mod is primarily based around vanilla gameplay, it stays fairly close to the vanilla difficulty of bosses, so players who prefer hardened bosses that are going to take a long time to defeat may be a little disappointed, as although the boss fights are fun, they don't quite push you to the edge, which personally is something that I prefer. Some of the late game bosses are kind of pushovers and are really easy, which in my eyes is unfortunate, as an increase of the pace of the fights would make a huge difference in difficulty, and I feel late game bosses are supposed to give you the most challenge, but they feel easy even when compared to the natural difficulty of the mod on expert mode. For example, the boss right before the final one, all you have to do is just circle. It has multiple attacks, but everything can be dodged by circling around the boss, and the same can be said about the final boss as well for the most part. The next con is the new modded classes, the Bard and the Healer classes. I don't feel are as good or as efficient compared to the vanilla classes, which honestly makes sense to me as these classes were built entirely from scratch by the developers, which is by no means an easy task to do, so I can't really blame them here, but it is something I feel like I noticed. So to finally answer the question, should you play the Thorium mod? I would say yes. I think it's a great mod. If you are a casual player who enjoys playing Terraria and wants to spice up your game a bit, this is definitely the way to do that without making it feel too overwhelming for newer players. Say you have a friend who is brand new to modded Terraria, or you are brand new to mods as well, this is the perfect place to start, providing new content that isn't going to frustrate you with insane difficulty or making things too complicated that you won't understand what's going on. That is all for my Thorium mod review, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing, and also leave a like and comment any thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching.